Well, howdy. Welcome here to the Double M Farm. Got another unboxing here. Been to Harbor Freight, surprise, surprise. And picked up one of these Portland electric pole saws. And probably opening the wrong end, but we'll find out, I guess. I think. Well, there's the head. Wow. Looks pretty well made. Well, I guess I just broke half of it, but we'll see. Nothing else in the box. Let's see what hit the floor. What we got here? Instruction manual. Oh well, you know what we do with those. We're men, right? Real men don't read instruction manuals. Real men carry pocket knives. All right, YouTube, I'm joking. And what we have here, we have a cover. I'm assuming this is the bar. Yep. Wow, nice little bar. It is a spoked wheel bar. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's a 9.5 inch with an Oregon chain. How about that? This is a 91PJ033X Oregon chain. Okay. Really wasn't expecting that. I'll hang on to this bag until I have a chance to write that number down. Also came with a screwdriver / Allen wrench. That's pretty nice. There's the chain. How well it'll show up on camera, but it looks pretty nice for the size. Again, it's a 9.5 inch. Not bad. So you got the chain, the bar, and the cover. Now this thing, you twist, and it'll extend up to 8 feet 10 inches. And you lock it down. I have the motor here. It's got a nice tooth, and that's metal. Got a tooth bar there for digging in. There's an adjustment tensioner screw for tightening the chain. Place to put your chain oil, and it is an automatic oiler. And on the other end, what do we have? The other end is simply a trigger with a, uh-oh, I don't like that. That's going to be a little awkward. See if I can get this on camera. There's the trigger. And you can see it won't mash because you have to mash the safety button in order for the trigger to mash. But with the safety button, seemed to me like it'd be better if the safety button was on that side. Well, I guess if I use my right hand, I'm using my left hand here. If I use my right hand, I guess it'll be all right. And then I do like this little hook here. You can squeeze your extension cord and run it through this opening and loop it. In other words, loop your extension cord, push it through this hole, and let the loop go around this hook right here. And then it'll hang out and plug in. That way you won't be pulling on your extension cord and unplugging it. Wow, got a nice little cover on the prongs to keep them safe. Not bad. Let me put this thing together and we'll see what it looks like here. Okay. Well, putting it together was a piece of cake. Let's see here. Keep this on camera. One screw that the Allen wrench removes. This plate comes off, and it's just like any chainsaw you've ever used. Put it in, tighten that down hand tight. Use the other end of the Allen wrench screwdriver end to adjust the chain tightness. And then lock this down. And I will mention that the oil reservoir is very small, So that's something you'll want to check often when you're using it. Was pouring the oil in it, and it just all of a sudden come running out the top. I've got oil all over the tool bench there. So it obviously does not take a lot of oil. So that's something you'll want to stay on top of. And if you'll notice the fluorescent light behind me, it flickers when I hit the button. So this thing apparently draws quite a bit. And it feels very strong. It's got a little kick to it when I mash the trigger. So it's got some strength to it. We'll see how it cuts. Here's what I was talking about on this end. Looping the extension cord through the hole and around that. So now if you pull, you won't pull on either cord, extension cord or the cord coming out of the machine. So I like that. So far, without actually cutting anything, I like the way it looks and the way it feels. So now we'll go see if we can find something to cut. Okay, we'll give this thing a whirl and see how strong it is. Well, not too bad. First thing I notice is when you're using it, when you're standing here holding it, I had it out as far as it would go. When you're standing here holding it up in the air, you can't see that. So it's a little bit difficult to tell where it is on the limb. So I just kept going until I felt the teeth bite into the limb to know that I was on the limb. So that's something you just have to, I guess after you use it a few times, you'll sort of get the hang of where the bar is. Because as you hold it out, I don't know if I'm on camera, but as you hold it out like that, you can't see the bar in the shape. So you just have to get a feel for it. I do like this little cushion grip. That was nice. Balances well and cut a pretty big limb. That's a good 4 or 5 inch limb I just cut with it, and it didn't even slow it down. Now, something I did try, and you'll notice I don't have it on the loop. Got it plugged into an extra heavy duty extension cord, and it wasn't, it was too thick to fit through this hole here. So I couldn't loop it like I was showing you because this cord is just too big. But I'm pleased. I think it'll do what I need it to do. Got it dirty already. But it's not a bad saw at all. We'll take another look inside at it here. Okay, some final thoughts. This is the Portland electric pole saw from Harbor Freight. It's 1.5 peak horsepower. According to the manual, it's obviously 120 volt. It's a 60 hertz, 6.5 amp. It'll reach from 6 foot to 8 foot 10 inches. And the bar length is 9.5 inches. Everything else in here is pretty self-explanatory. When you open the box, what you get is the pole saw, which, as you saw, loosened here to extend it out to 8 foot 10 inches. Plus your, however tall you are, you can reach 10 to 12 foot with it. It's got a small oil reservoir, so you definitely want to check it often. Has an Oregon bar and an Oregon chain that come with it. That is the Oregon chain. Trying to get the glare off. There we go. That's the number for the replacement chain. And then it has a typical cover, which I like. Oh boy, a little tight. Well, I'm not going to slide that on there with one hand. And then, of course, it comes with the Allen wrench, which fits here. And then on the other end is a screwdriver to adjust the tightness of the chain. And it's a strong little saw. I was very impressed. Does a good job. Currently, at the time of this video, it's about $60 at Harbor Freight. So you can't beat that. Just got to have extension cord. My hope, the only thing I am disappointed about is I was hoping I'd be able to use it out in the pasture where I have no power by running a inverter on Dumpy. And I'm sure I can, but I'll have to get a bigger inverter. I tried running it on this one to do that demo I just did. I had this little inverter hooked up to the battery on Dumpy. And I don't remember the specs on this inverter. Let's see. 12 volt input, 115 volt, 60 hertz output. So 60 hertz is exactly what this pole saw draws. So that's pushing it, I guess. This thing's a 750 watt continuous, 1500 watt peak, and it wouldn't run it. It'd run it for just a second and then the box would trip. Now, I don't know if that was the box or if it was the fact that Dumpy has a small battery, but I had him running. I didn't do it with him cut off. I had him idling, and it just wouldn't run it. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I can always get a bigger inverter to run it out on the farm. I'd like to be able to drive around the fence and use this to trim limbs that I can't reach up above the fence. So that's my plan. I guess I could say I'll just get a bigger inverter. Go back to Harbor Freight and spend some more money. So I would say for $60, it's more than well worth it. I cut a 6-inch. I measured that limb. It was bigger than I thought. It was 6 inches. So that was a 6-inch limb. And it cut through it with no problem. That's what the box looks like when you pick it up at Harbor Freight. And the box is, I brought it home in the car. The box is maybe 6 foot tall. Yeah, I'd say the box is about 6 foot long if you're wondering how hard it would be to put it in your car if you needed to. I wasn't in my pickup, I was in the car. So I would say on a scale of 0 to 5, with 5 being the best, I'd have to give it at least a 4 right out of the box in one-time use. And after I use it a while on the farm, I'll do an update and let you know if it's gotten worse or better or stayed the same or whatever. So if you're looking for an electric pole saw and you don't want to invest the money in the battery-powered ones because they are about double the price just for the saw, and then you got to buy the battery and the charger. So that's why I was looking at this one. So my rating would be good and could be even higher than that once I use it some more. So there you go, the Portland electric pole saw from Harbor Freight. And I appreciate you visiting us here on the Double M Farm, and we'll talk again real soon.